Hi everyone, welcome to your weekly readings for the 9th to the 15th of June 2019. I hope it's been a good weekend for you. Take a moment, get yourselves just nicely settled in. Take a chance, take a deep breath, or a few deep breaths actually. Try and clear out any stagnant energy that you're carrying around with you. If you're here, please say hi in the chat. Let me know how you're doing. I'm going to start off in a moment by pulling some cards for the collective and getting an idea of what we're looking at collectively for this week. And then I'll move on to the 12 signs from Aries through to Pisces. Please remember to check your sun, moon, and rising. So the picture for the collective for the 9th to the 15th of June. Hi, Exo Archetype. Let me know how your week's been. Hi, Love Goddess. So the picture for the collective, let's get a sense of where we're heading. Okay. Okay, it's interesting. So the picture they're giving me is one of very sort of conflicted energy. So there seems to be like a common experience for a lot of people at this time that there are like multiple options or paths opening up, and we're trying to be sure before we commit to any course of action. We're trying, where possible, to be sure, and we might be overthinking things, and we might be sort of looking for guaranteed wins, guaranteed success, and where that's not there, that's holding us back. And I feel like the conflict is coming from multiple paths of advice or guidance coming in all at once, and they feel like they're conflicting with each other, and we're struggling to sort of feel into what is actually right for us. And that is causing a few difficulties. It's causing a lot of anxiety. It's probably causing overthinking as well. I feel like there's this sense in which we've been sort of holding off from admitting to all of our feelings. I feel that as a result of that, that's causing a bit of emotional instability at this time, and it's also causing a bit of indecisiveness in that sense. And we're looking outside for guidance, and the guidance is confusing us even further, making it even harder to make decisions, to commit to certain courses of action. So it's feeling quite overloaded at the moment as a result of this. So there's a need, I feel, for a lot of us to come back to ourselves, because I feel that the more we look for external input, it's kind of causing this confusion. What I have showing up in the cards, the conscious influence, is the Empress. And with the Empress, I'm drawn to this egg. And the sense that I get is of this need to kind of know how things are going to turn out. And because we don't know that, we're doubting any course of action, and we're getting different ideas coming in from outside. And there's just not a lot of clarity, and there's not a lot of clarity, and we're giving ourselves a hard time, maybe reaching more externally. Maybe that's confusing things even further. Subconscious influence for the collective as well is the Six of Wands. And while that's normally victory, the sense that I get is of wanting this guaranteed victory of, and also of not recognizing our own successes so far, not recognizing that wherever we move, we're still going to be more or less on the path, learning the things that we need to. And there needs to be a bit more acceptance of being in the right place and moving in the right direction in general, because we're stressing ourselves too much. Been trying to appear to hold it together with the King of Cups in the background. I also feel, actually, with this King of Cups, I also feel this rigidity, like trying to hold off too much change, maybe a bit of isolation as well. And then suddenly we're reaching everywhere for advice and input, and that's not helping either. So there is this need to come back to our own inner process at this time and trust that to guide us more than anything else. So this isn't a time to be asking for too many different ways of viewing things. I feel it's really, really confusing. That's showing up with the Sun for the collective. If you're coming out of something at this time, or if you're feeling in the middle of something at this time that you'd like to break out of, this needs to be a renewed strength coming from within. I feel looking externally for that assistance is causing us difficulties collectively. So that needs to be kind of put to one side at the moment. You need to be reaching deep for your own inner process, inner strength as well. And for that light that is going to enable you to come out and shine right at this moment in time. Because I feel like all of this trying to plan so far ahead and get guidance and think too far forward and all of this, you're then like your own moment here in this in the present isn't shining at the moment, and it needs to, and that will light your way, and it also encourages other people to do the same thing. That is going to enable you more than anything to make commitments as we move forward to the place of the Lovers, a place where we feel supported. I feel at the moment looking for all these different avenues of support and guidance, and actually it's just confusing things. It means that we're feeling less supported, less grounded, less able to deal, less decisive. So the ability to be able to make commitments to a course of action, this needs to almost like be postponed and not thought about so much. You need to come back to yourself in the present and into what your inner process is telling you to do, and you need to just be shining as brightly as you can at this moment in time. The rest will follow from there. So much overthinking. I've fallen to it as well in recent times, so it's a real energy that's out there. But I feel that something is being born, it is growing within you, but there is this sense in which focusing on it too much is stopping that, and giving yourself a hard time for not seeing where it's all going and not being the finished article yet is stopping that. So that's where the collective is at. You know, if you look at that on a collective scale, what does that mean for political upheaval? What does that mean for systems of oppression? It means that you can't be looking to have all the answers, see where everything's going. No wonder we're getting overwhelmed when we do that. That's a trap. It places us into fear. That causes us all kinds of difficulties. Obviously, we want to move towards a more egalitarian, inclusive society that includes everyone, where everyone can feel safe and supported. But it needs to include everyone's individuality as well. So with the Sun, it's all about being able to shine as we are at this time. I feel everybody right now almost is looking around for that, more than someone's external input on your personal situation is going to help. Seeing someone just doing their thing, whatever that looks like, and shining really brightly is going to be the strongest possible gift that you can give collectively as well as to yourself. So that needs to be the area to focus on this week. And that means pushing aside all of these urges to reach externally for this direction, this direction, this direction. It's all overthinking. It's all a trap at this time. Don't fall into it. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to move on now to the 12 signs, starting off with Aries. Thank you to hi to everyone just tuning in. Hi Ladybug. Hi Hooks Fremont. Hi Roisin. So Aries, Sun, Moon and Rising for the 9th to the 15th of June 2019. And please remember to like the video, everyone. And please remember to share the video if you're able to. Aries. We're using a deck that I've had for a while, but I haven't used on this channel before, so you might be surprised by it. Aries. Okay, Aries. Let's see what we have for you today. Okay. Yeah. You're quite narrow in what you're doing, Aries. And I mentioned people need to shine where they are, but I feel like you're caught in a routine at the moment. So you get out of bed and you do the same thing every day, and then you go back to bed and you get up the next day and you repeat it and you repeat it. And then you're like, when is this going to have an effect for me? When am I going to get where I'm going? If I'm doing everything right, if I'm doing all the things that I'm supposed to be doing day after day after day, then when is this going to bear fruit for me? And I feel like you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself, but I also feel that this is a very restricted way of doing things for you, Aries, and it's causing you difficulties, and it's causing you quite a lot of grief. You're feeling quite exposed as a result of it. It's showing up for you with the 3 of Swords. You don't really feel able to express in the way that you want to. This is really, really harming you in that sense. And I feel that there is this need for you at this time, Aries, to be able, 1, to appreciate yourself, yes, but 2, to just do things a little different, mix it up a bit, because I feel that you're wedded to this way of doing things. You're wedded to where you're doing them, how you're doing them. It's all quite hemmed in. 3 of Swords again. It's very, very hemmed in. So you're feeling limited, unable to break out of that. So with the focus or challenge for you, we have the 6 of Swords showing up, Aries, and the sense that I get here is simply of being able to release some of the burden from this. Now, when I say release some of the burden from this, what I mean is I feel like a lot of these are responsibilities that you have taken on, committed to. Some of them responsibilities to yourself, some to other people, but it's very, very just restrictive on your mental process because you're not getting time to feel into yourself. You're not getting time to regroup, to re-evaluate within this. So you need to be giving yourself a break from that. a break from, and it's not so much overthinking as just locking yourself in to being so busy that your thought process is narrowed. And sometimes that's beneficial, but at the moment, it's not giving you space to come up with new ideas, and it's not giving you space to make a decision to let go of the things that aren't serving you anymore. And some of those are situations, some of those might be your living situation or your job or relationships, and some of them are those belief systems, those belief patterns that you don't feel able to break free of. So there needs to be a bit of a regroupment for you at this time, Aries. That comes from giving yourself permission to let some things drop or slide a bit looser from you. It means releasing yourself from the things that you've told yourself you're responsible for that aren't necessarily yours and are getting in the way. So your final card that is showing up is the Eight of Cups. This is all about releasing restriction, all about seeing yourself doing something else, but all about giving yourself permission to do less in the here and now as well. That is what's going to free you more than anything else. You don't need to get on your own case. You need to beat yourself up. You don't need to feel guilty or shameful or anything similar. But when you look at all of this restrictive routine, this way of doing things, where is the space to breathe free? Where is the space to breathe free that allows you to release that restriction, allows you to get out of this tight box that is trapping you at the moment, and to feel the sun on you as a warming force and not as a burning force, Aries? I hope that makes sense for you. The next sign is going to be Taurus. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Amy. Taurus, sun, moon, and rising for the 9th to the 15th of June, 2019. Taurus. Taurus. Okay, Taurus, you're carrying what feels like an emotional load. It's like this lead weight, and you're carrying this from place to place to place, and it is weighing you down. It is getting you down. You've even tried to put it down and walk away a few times, but then you feel this responsibility to go back and pick it back up. So there is something that you are not fully releasing, not letting go of. And it feels like you're unable to make a decision to release and let go of it and enter into a new space. Your card shows up as your first card. That is the Hierophant. And the sense that I get here is of you putting all of this load on yourself to be able to deal with something that hurts you, and you feel like you have to carry this around with you. And I don't feel that you do. I feel it's a habit. I feel it's destabilizing. I feel that somebody may have told you at some stage that this is a weight that you have to bear. And It feels like bound up with it are belief systems that limit you, that close you off to possibilities, that close you off to love, that close you off to being fully present or embodied in the moment or in situations, because you keep still being like, the moment that you're getting comfortable, you're like, oh, I've still got this. I've still got this. I'm going back to this. I'm going back to this. So you keep going back to this. It's causing you difficulties. And it's very easy with the Ace of Swords for me to say that you have to make a decision to let go of it, to feel free, to feel in the moment. This may take a few goes to actually get right, because these things creep back up on you, but there's a difference between them creeping back up on you and feeling the need to go and grab that and carry it again, because it's an identifier, because it means something. It tells you in some sense who you are. So this may be an attachment to past hurts or to trauma. And obviously that's not something that gets wished away, but it's about being able to mentally detach from that and be in the moment, to feel free in the moment, to be able to welcome simply doing things in the moment. That's the new start that is needed for you, that is going to break you out of this. And what it's going to do is it's actually going to mean that you feel that bit less restricted and that bit more embodied. So you have the Four of Pentacles showing up as your advice or outcome card. This is going to move you to a space where you simply trust the moment, trust the experience that you're having at this time. Don't need to think or push too far beyond it, because it's about building a new sense of stability based on that. And you can't have that new sense of stability if your sense of stability is attached to something that you need to not be tied to anymore. That's the main picture coming up for you this week, Taurus. You'll be able to work out where in your life that plays out. It's also about being able to actually free it. If you see the light coming up from her heart there as well, it's almost like this is about piercing that thing that binds this to your heart, that stops you from feeling in the moment, stops you from feeling fully embodied, stops you from fully enjoying what you're doing or just feeling present in that space, in that time. That's what's coming up for you. Now, if that is deep trauma, there's work you can do to release that by yourself. You may also need a facilitator. You might need someone to help with rituals. You might need all kinds of things. I can't speak to your individual case during a collective general live, obviously, but you don't have to carry this. It's not a burden that you have to carry your whole life. It's not something that is necessary for you to be attached to in this rigid way. And the more you free yourself, the more you're able to just enjoy the moment and put that to one side, the further away it's going to move, the less weighed down you're going to feel, the more embodied you're going to be. I hope that makes sense for you, Taurus. The next sign is going to be Gemini. Gemini, Sun, Moon and Rising for the 9th to the 15th of June 2019. And please remember to like and share the video, everyone. Gemini. Gemini. Had some cards jump for you, Gemini. Well, that saves a bit of time when 3 cards jump out all at once. Okay. I feel like you're a bit more determined the most, Gemini. I feel that you are freeing yourself in action. You're freeing yourself by taking steps, by starting to make moves in a particular direction that feels like an expansive direction for you. So you have ideas that you're working on. I feel like you've had insights that have come through. You've had insights that have come through, and maybe you had them a little while ago, but you didn't feel able to put them into action, to act on them. But now you are, and you're feeling more and more in control. You've got an idea of the direction that you can be going in. This is hugely beneficial to you. That's showing up for you with the 8 of Swords. So you're seeing the way out, seeing the goal, and you're starting to move on it. You can see moving from this space here to this space of suddenly having it together, having the idea, okay, I can move that way, I can go that way. This is actually my way forward. This can free me up. Your challenge that is showing up is the 5 of Wands. So this is all about being able to feel this freeing you, being able to feel your expansion within this, being able to push, move in that direction. This is really, really powerful. It feels like you're emerging. It feels like you're emerging. In this very provocatively imaged card, it feels like you're emerging. And this is straight up from here. This is going to take you where you need to be. So what's going to get in your way? Because some of you may find this gets in your way, and what gets in your way are old belief systems, thought forms, and more than that, it's feeling like you have to do it all alone. I feel like you're doing this and it's really, really positive, but you're telling yourself, I'm doing it all alone. This is really, really hard as a result. 9 of Swords showing up. So you're telling yourself that this is harder than it actually is because you feel like you're going it alone. You're not sure where that leads. You're very concerned about being found out. There's a lack of self-confidence. So you're doing it, you have the insight, you're pursuing it, but you need to be telling yourself not only that you can do this, but you need, I feel like you need to be putting yourself under a little less pressure. You try and push too hard, go too fast, it gets overwhelming, becomes very, very difficult, very, very uncomfortable. Insight is right there. You are reaching, you are pushing, you are freeing yourself. Don't try to go too fast. And don't feel like everything has to be done alone, Gemini. You could put yourself under so much pressure. It's not necessary to. You will go at your own pace, in your own time. You are shining right now with what you are doing. But there will be support for you, Gemini. So you don't have to feel quite so exposed. You are getting this absolutely right. Just take your time over it. I hope that makes sense for you. The next sign is going to be Cancer. Hi, DCJ. Hi, Tina. Hi, Danielle. Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 9th to the 15th of June 2019. Cancer. Cancer. Yeah, that's what they gave me. Okay, this is very, very creative for you at this time, Cancer. I feel a strong creative project or development within your life, which you know has real prospects. It's really important to you. These may be spiritual approaches that you're learning, refining, getting better at, developing. These may be ways of living, ways of being in relationships that are right for you, and you know they're right for you. They're also likely to be some way removed from what feel like family traditions or cultural traditions, and you feel like you can't tell therefore your family or people around you about your approach because it feels like they wouldn't understand, they would frown upon it, they would shut you down, you'd be put onto the defensive. It would be very, very difficult for you. I feel like you're moving towards a really important space. It feels like a healing space. It feels like a space of emotional fulfillment, emotional safety, and a space that will nurture you. So I feel the work you're doing is nurturing to you. I feel a strong sense in which this is an approach to healing, or it's a spiritual practice that is vital for your own development, but that family or people in the area might not understand it. So you have the 10 of Cups showing up. The 10 of Cups is being flanked by the moon on one side and Saturn on the other. So I heard that your mother might not approve, but it could actually be both parents, or it could be cultural restrictions that are getting in the way of you here, Cancer. They're causing you some self-doubt. They're meaning that you don't feel as free as you could do. You're doing the right thing, but you don't have to tell everyone what you're doing. Some things you're going to do in private, some things you're going to do publicly. What matters is if this is healing and beneficial to you and facilitates your own growth. And I feel that it does. I feel that really, really strongly. Some of you are having your parenting methods or styles kind of questioned from your parents or from certain societal norms or something similar. There is a sense of that coming in as well with the 10 of Cups. Means that you're feeling quite exposed as well with the moon. So that's a factor here, is some of you are doing things differently from what your parents have done with you, might be doing things differently from what is normal or standard where you live. So there can be a cultural restriction as well. That's the sense that I'm getting. Old stuff that you don't quite correspond to in your approach. There's the tension, there's the tension, there's the tension. With Saturn as well, this also feels like this, therefore, is a test for you to be able to ensure that you're in alignment. But if you are to stick with it, commit to it. So your commitment to what you're doing is being tested this week. I feel that it's going to work out absolutely fine for you as long as it's in alignment. There is some fear, some apprehension involved with going your own way on this, but I feel you're absolutely moving in the right direction, and it's all about being able to stick to your guns more than anything else, Cancer. I hope that makes sense for you. The next sign is going to be Leo. The label, this tag keeps popping out of my dress. I'm sorry about this. I noticed that on the video, unfortunately. Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 9th to the 15th of June, 2019. Leo. Thank you, Cinnamon D. Okay. You're doing quite well for yourself, Leo. I feel like there's something that you started on, made a commitment to, chose to pursue, chose to stick with, chose to see through, and now you're seeing results from that. And that's really, really positive. However, some of you are also very, very down on someone else's approach to something, and it hasn't come off for them. And you're sort of almost tempted to laugh in their face at your success in relation to theirs. Now, the first of those is quite good. The second of those we might need a bit less of. So this is back to yourself rather than focusing on other people at this time, Leo. This feels hugely important for your continued success. I feel that you'll be supported if you focus on your own work. I also feel that if you go down that line, instead of comparing yourself to other people, laughing at people getting things wrong, or just feeling like I told you so on something, that's not helpful, it's not supportive, it's not compassionate, it's not going to be useful to you. So resist that tendency this week, because I feel it's coming up and you need to be aware of it. You have the 9 of Pentacles showing up, so you're having success, but there's more success ahead if you keep following, if you keep going, and it's going to be quite wonderful for you. This is going to be very, very beneficial for you. I feel it'll be rejuvenating for you as well. I feel you're moving towards much, much more fertile ground, Leo. So what you committed to, you approved right on. Now you need to continue it, not get distracted, pulled to one side, or focus on other people, because it becomes about your own work. It becomes about being successful, and it feels like material success predominantly. So this can be a way of working that you've committed to that's taken time to pay off, but now it is. This can be something you invested financially in, or something you invested a lot of time in, and now it's coming to fruition, but you need to keep it going in order that you can then enjoy the fruits of your success and feel in a space where you can appreciate yourself and you don't need to project any insecurities out onto anyone else. King of Pentacles showing up for you, and I feel that this is the challenge, is for you to be a King of Pentacles at this time. It's for you to be able to show yourself in that way, to be able to occupy the limelight, which is part of your work as a Leo, but also to value your own success, and then to be supportive to other people with it, and to use this as the creative basis of something more. Your final card showing up as Divine Feminine, but usually traditionally this is the Empress, comes up in this deck, Divine Feminine, and I feel like this is predominantly then about you settling into this place where you're having this success and being able to attract more from here. So you celebrate yourself, you attract more, but you also need to be in this space of love, compassion, and openness to those around you. Yes, you invested in this. Yes, you've had a huge success, but you don't do it all alone. And where you have the ability to share that with other people, you need to be doing that. You need to be encouraging them. You don't need to be going, I told you so. You don't need to be comparing them harshly to yourself. You need to be accepting where they're at, and you need to be offering a bit of support and warmth in their direction. And if you have resources to share with them, that's wonderful too. I hope that makes sense for you, Leo. The next sign is going to be Virgo. Virgo, Sun, Moon and Rising for the 9th to the 15th of June 2019. Hi, Matt. Please remember to like and share the video, everyone. That helps a huge amount. Virgo. Okay. Light bulb switching on within you this week, Virgo. Sudden impetus to act on something, to pursue something, maybe to go charging headlong into something, which is quite out of character for Virgo, but it's where you're at. So there is this tremendous sense of, oh, finally, and then you're going to go straight after it. I feel that's what you want to do at the very least. However, it might not serve you well to go too fast, too quickly. You do have the Ace of Cups showing up. So this is a new beginning. It is something that I feel serves as a release and feels to you like a potential portal or gateway to a lot more. And that's why you're drawn so quickly. That's why you want to act so quickly. You're like, I need to connect with this. I need to get hold of this. I need to touch this. For some of you, it's a new relationship. For some of you, it feels like a shot at potentially relocation or something similar, I want to say. And it's like you just want to jump at it. You want to jump at it. How much do you commit to this? I feel like some of you have met someone and you want to move in with them really quickly. Want to run off with them really quickly without getting to know them first. As I said, not stereotypical Virgo behavior, but I feel like when you feel something is right, you go for it because you are mutable. You can do that when you want to. With the Six of Pentacles showing up for you as your challenge, I feel like don't overcommit just yet. Make sure there is genuinely something in this for you. Make sure that this is going to be stable and support you. And if not, then you can go that little bit slower. And the reason I say that is that with the Seven of Wands showing up, you might be giving away quite a lot of power. This might restrict you. You might not be able to quite grab, reach all of the things that you feel are right there within this for you if you overcommit to it. If it feels right, then go for it. Absolutely. I feel this wave of euphoria just from the sense of this being there this week. But you can accept that wave of euphoria, and then you can look at how much you truly invest in it, how much of it is right for you, how much it is going to support you, and then take it in that direction. You're quite good at scrutinizing details, Virgo, so don't chuck that to one side necessarily at this time. I feel like this is really promising for you, but because it's really promising for you, you don't have to dive in feet first just yet. I feel that you can feel your way in that bit more slowly. Remember your own stability. Remember to stay grounded yourself. Feel your way in. Get a sense of what the lie of the land is in total, but do explore it and do be ready to start to commit to it. I hope that makes sense for you, Virgo. The next sign is going to be Libra. Libra, sun, moon, and rising for the 9th to the 15th of June 2019. Libra. Libra. Okay. Okay. You feel really ready to love, Libra. Like, I went straight to my heart space. It is wide open. There are stacks and stacks of energy here, and they want to go somewhere. They want to go somewhere, and you're like, who am I going to give my heart to? Where am I going to place my heart? Where do I place my energy? Where do I put my energy? It all feels very external. All of this is right here. You feel like you want to put it somewhere else. Give it to somewhere else, someone else, or invest it in a particular project or a particular place. Your situation, Libra, is the Hermit, and I feel like you're wanting to put your heart somewhere else, give it to someone else, but you're also not showing too much of yourself, not doing too much inner work necessarily when you need to be. So you are almost trying to transpose or transfer this to somebody else. So as your joy comes from them, this isn't necessarily the healthiest thing, and your challenge is showing up as the 9 of Pentacles, which corresponds to the Hermit, both in number and in element. And the sense that I get here is of a need to come back and focus on yourself. So you're very, very eager to offer your heart to other people. You're not necessarily giving your heart to yourself. I feel that I don't feel that your heart is out of balance, but I feel that you might take it out of balance by just looking for somewhere to place it, somewhere to put it. And I don't feel like any of the options in front of you are that worthy of it. So you seem very, very eager to rush into some kind of commitment, and there's multiple options in front of you, but actually none of them feel like they're going to be truly fulfilling. And because they're not going to be truly fulfilling, you need to come back and work on yourself and on what you're doing materially in the meantime. More difficult for you by the feel of things, but absolutely necessary. Your guidance for this is the 3 of Wands, and this is a much more relaxed position to be moving into. This is accepting the whole universe of possibilities out there that can come your way, but you're not going to be open to receive them if you're neglecting yourself, or if you're rushing to commit to other things in advance. There's this need for patience. There's this need to understand yourself a bit better. This need to ensure that you are in balance and remaining in balance. And this need just not to rush or charge. It's all about receptivity for you at this time, Libra. That doesn't always come easy to you by any means, but it's about receptivity. I feel like if you rush, you will miss something better that is going to become along, that is currently obscured by the clouds. But these clouds are going to break apart, Libra. They're going to break apart, and then you're going to get a sense of how much greater the possibilities out there are for you. So hold back this week, and hold back from desperately looking for somewhere to invest your heart or your attention or your energy. You have this energy that you can use to help create something for yourself. You can focus more on work, on your material surroundings. All of these things can be a good focus for you at this time. And then the bigger picture is going to become clear over time, and you'll know what to do then. I hope that makes sense for you, Libra. Hi, Trisha. Hi, Tara. Hi, Janine. The next sign is going to be Scorpio. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 9th to the 15th of June 2019. Scorpio. Scorpio. Big changes coming up for you, Scorpio. I feel like you've been a little apprehensive or scared of groups of people, especially of teamwork. I feel working in a team, working alongside other people, working towards a common goal is something that's filled you with a bit of fear with the 9 of Swords coming up. I feel like you get anxious in those situations. You get anxious with all those people's energies around you. It causes you to pull back. But at the moment, I feel this really strong need for teamwork for you. I feel like you need to be offering support to other people, have them supporting you, and be working together. I see you high-fiving each other for a job well done. Now, some of you, this might not apply in work, but you might then actually be joining a sports team or some other group of people that does things in connection with each other, in collaboration with each other. And this feels like it's going to surprise you by how well it goes, because you are apprehensive. So this is about being able to move past that in action. You have the Eon showing up, traditionally Judgment for those of you who read the Rider-Waite system. So this is about a big shift, a big change, a moving forward to a new stage for you. And that is only going to come in connection, in collaboration, in that way. Very, very powerful for you. I don't know if you can see the two figures here and the ank in between them. So the blessing, I feel this blessing of you coming together in a group of people in order to collaborate. This is the right time. It's going to be supported. It's going to have phenomenal success. It's going to break you out of your apprehension, Scorpio. Your final card is Cosmic Union, traditionally the world. And the sense that I get here is of this moving you into this space where you feel supported, feel understood, feel like you matter, like you can contribute, like you don't have to do everything alone, where you feel supported by other people and where you feel you have something to offer to them. And it's just going to allow you to feel less influenced by the past, less influenced in a negative way by outside forces. It's going to mean this other part of you starts to open up. So yes, you can sometimes be solitary. You might do things by yourself. You might act by yourself. You might need a bit of alone time, and that's okay. But this is the other side of that, Scorpio, and it seems to be all about the side of you that needs teamwork in that way. I'm finding a way to bring that into your life this week. Feels really, really important. I feel it's going to make you feel freer and lighter. And I feel that it's just going to mean that you feel more embodied in general. So this is something you might have avoided for a while, but it feels a really positive route for you to be going down at this time. I hope that makes sense for you, Scorpio. The next sign is going to be Sagittarius. Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising for the 9th to the 15th of June 2019. Sag. Sagittarius. Okay. Okay, Sagittarius, you're in a rush to leave something, in a rush to leave your current situation or a place that you're in, or something that you feel overly committed to, something that you feel requires something that feels like it's restrictive. Okay, you're conceiving of yourself as in like this pit or this hole. You want to climb out of it. It's what they've shown me. So you're feeling like you're down here. I want out of this. I want to find my way out of this and go and do something else. In a rush to leave a challenge that I feel is actually an important one to you. Scared of the work that's involved, potentially. It's triggering something within you. It's triggering something within you, and that is causing you difficulties. But I feel like you actually need to stay in this one and work at this one, Sagittarius. And that doesn't always suit you as an archetype, as an energy, but this is about staying power. You're coming in as the Queen of Pentacles here. And with the Queen of Pentacles, there is this really, really strong Capricornian energy You've got Saturn in the background if you're in any doubt at all. And yeah, Jupiter's there too, so you'll be supported if you keep this up. But I feel, you see the cup on the floor there, there's a disappointment. This isn't moving as fast as I'd like. I don't really like this. I want to go and do something else. But you need to settle into this. Give it a chance. Give yourself a chance to prove yourself in the long haul. For some of you, I feel this may be a relationship. It doesn't feel like it's necessarily going anywhere or becoming what you want it to be. For others of you, there's just some sort of, it's like an obstacle that you can't see any way past. This might be happening in your professional life. You need to slow it down. So your challenge coming up is balance. Traditionally, judgment. So we're dealing with an energy here that may well be quite karmic, if that makes sense. May well be a karmic energy that you're dealing with, and that's why you can't just run away from it, because if you do, you're just going to find another situation that matches this, and another situation that matches this, and another situation that matches this, until you actually deal with it. Three of Swords is showing up for you as well, and you may need to accept this restriction at this time, because it's not punishment, it's not cruelty, it's nothing like that. It is something that is making you feel uneasy because it's challenging you, it's testing you, it's difficult for you in that sense. But if you actually just lie back in it for a moment, you will start to see the stairs emerge. So you don't need someone to pull you out of it. You'll see the way through it. It's going to take you somewhere new, somewhere that starts to blossom, somewhere that is going to be far, far better for you, but not if you run. If you run, you'll just have to do it over again and again and again until you finally get to grips with this one. So it takes work, Sagittarius. It takes absolute work for you to be a Queen of Pentacles here, to keep it in balance, to keep it in check, to accept the challenge, to accept the restriction. But I feel like there is gold and there is something wonderful at the end of it for you. I hope that makes sense for you. The next sign is going to be Capricorn. Capricorn, Sun, Moon and Rising for the 9th to the 15th of June 2019. Capricorn. Okay, Capricorn. Okay, Capricorn. What are they giving me here? You're quite emotional for one thing. You're quite pessimistic. Things have not been moving that fast for you. It's making you feel quite pessimistic. And you're wondering when it's going to end, because you just want to shut yourself off, close yourself off to the world. Well, this isn't moving very fast. I don't feel very supported, really. And I think people might be offering you support and you're sort of like possibly closed off to them. And it's like you just want to pull the covers over your head and go back to bed. really. And I feel that you've been putting in the work in a direction to an extent, but I also feel like you're just feeling anxious about your prospects. Okay, you're showing up as a Knight of Pentacles here, feeling quite anxious. So you know where you want to get to, but it's not quite moving, it's not quite happening, and you're getting a bit sick of waiting, I feel, but you're quite closed off to outside help, and I feel you need to be open to outside help at this time. Outside help showing up with the 8 of Wands, actually being, because part of this as well is that you feel now this is going to move so slowly, what's the point? You're actually holding the energy of your situation back as a result of that, because you're expecting it to move slowly or not at all. Well, you need to be open to it moving quite fast and freeing you. You need to be open to this whole rainbow of possibilities of how you can be freed, Capricorn. That might also mean taking a break from it. But don't take a break from it by staying in bed. Take a break from it by getting outside. Take a break from it by connecting with other people. Take a break from it in that sense, because this is going to open you up more than anything else. I'm getting another strong sense of a karmic situation here, because you have 2 of the 8s showing up corresponding to justice. So you have this sense of needing to break out of this really rigid way of doing things, where it's quite slow and you get frustrated, but you push on, but your heart's not really in it. And this can be much faster and much smoother, but you have to be open to that, Capricorn. You have to be open to other possibilities, other approaches, other ways of doing this. I don't feel like you need to change what you're doing at all. I feel your vision is absolutely right as a Knight of Pentacles. You're pursuing the right thing, going after the right thing. But you're going to start to consider other ways of doing things. You need to be open to other ways of doing things. You need to be open to feeling much freer than that. And then bang, you get the insight. You get the insight that does the situation justice, that does you justice, that opens this up. That means that you're not so closed off, but you can stand tall, you can stand proud, you can be like, okay, actually, I'm okay. And we can do this now. We can do this now because I can see how it moves. It's moving faster. It's going faster. This is much, much clearer. But it needs you to ease this very restricted approach that you've been taking, Capricorn. That's what's holding you back. That is what is going to need to shift this week. I hope that makes sense for you. The next sign is going to be Aquarius. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 9th to the 15th of June 2019. Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius. Okay, interesting. You're in pain, Aquarius. I want to say that you're in pain, but I also want to say that you're aware that you're in pain, but you're not aware of what it's necessarily about. And I don't mean this in a bad way, but you might be wallowing in that pain a bit, in the sense of making it your sole focus, but not actually listening to it. It just being, I'm in pain, but you're not getting beyond that at this time. That's quite tricky. Queen of Cups is showing up, and I feel that the Queen of Cups here is one, you're in this pain and it's trying to tell you something. You're not open to knowing what that is. I feel that there is a root to it that goes beyond what's superficial, but you're not open to what it is. And more importantly, you're sort of resigned to just being in pain in this way. This is causing you a lot of difficulties. I also feel that there is somebody in front of you or around you or someone you can reach out to, possibly a water sign. So this could be Cancer, this could be Scorpio, this could be Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising, who has the insight, is able to tell you what's behind it if you can't feel for it yourself. And you need that at this time. When I look at the obvious imagery, this may well be pain or difficulties of some kind that relate to sexual organs. You might feel unable to fully be embodied with your sexual organs or in sexual activity, whether by yourself or with other people. And this is causing you that pain. It might be causing you some inadequacy. You are also potentially just so focused on it that you're not seeing a bigger picture. Okay, so your pain is real, your difficulties are real. There may be somebody who can offer you some insight, but you also need to be more expansively focused, open to a bigger picture, because I feel you're fixated or focused on this and it's just becoming a bit gratuitous at this time. So we need you to be more of a Queen of Swords. And that doesn't mean bitter or anything else, but it does mean being able to move yourself above and away from this, to see what else is out there, to get a clearer picture, to consider what other people might tell you as well. These are the main things coming up for you. Now, your advice comes up with the 5 of Swords, and with the 5 of Swords, I have this sense of you feeling overwhelmed by this. You're overwhelmed by this, very fixed on it because you're overwhelmed by it. It's crushing your self-image. For those of you who are having difficulties with sexual organs, sexual activity, possibly difficulties conceiving, some of you, or some of you might be dealing with painful conditions around the sexual organs, endometriosis, PMDD, or a number of other things are coming up at this time. I can't tell you how exactly you're being affected, so it's not a personal thing. It's that part of the body and things connected to it that are affected. But it's also causing you then, especially for those of you who are women, it's causing you to kind of not feel fully embodied in your femininity as well. So there is this wisdom that you need to be reaching for. There is the bigger picture that helps you to see a way past this, to see a way to work through this, to see a way to work with this, in order that you can feel yourself far, far more, in order that you can feel far more at home with your body, far more able to work with your body and anything else coming up around it in those areas. This is a real issue, I feel, of self-image and self-worth for some of you. So that bigger picture thinking is vital, but you also have a right to have a better relationship to your body. And that is going to be a big area of work for you, Aquarius, because I feel this is really painful for you, essentially. And and most people are not understanding. You might need some outside help, but you need help seeing that bigger picture as well. I hope that makes sense for you. The next sign is going to be Pisces. Hi Dee. Pisces, sun, moon and rising for the 9th to the 15th of June 2019. Pisces. They've taken me straight to my right shoulder, Pisces. It feels stiff, therefore right shoulder, right arm, dominant arm. I feel like you're feeling unable to assert yourself on situations. You might be feeling that little bit restricted. You might be that little bit closed off. It's causing you difficulties on deciding where to go. You're not sure whether your current situation is worth sticking with. You want to feel more joy. You want to feel a lot freer than this. The freedom that comes up with this highly provocative Ace of Wands. That's the release that you want to feel. I feel like it's not quite there yet. You're quite restricted as a result. And if you're feeling quite restricted and unable to act, and you feel actually as well like other people are possibly, and it's not people, it's entire groups or systems that you feel restricted by, unable to shift through, unable to see your way through. All of this is coming up for you. There's this need to move into what feels like a different space, and it feels like everything is being, you feel like a subject here. Everything is happening to you, coming down, coming in, coming in, coming in. So there's this force that's acting against you, and your own force you don't seem to be able to push with, apply, push through. You're overwhelmed by it. You're overwhelmed by it, and you feel like nothing you can do will make a difference. It's getting you down. It's causing you to doubt any good things in your life. It's causing you to forget your blessings. It's moving you to a place where it's hard to even find gratitude, because everything just feels so restrictive, because you don't feel able to assert or to act. But you want to, with the Ace of Wands, you want to push back. You absolutely want to push back, but it feels like you don't have the space to. You need to be inviting some love in, and you need to be recognizing your blessings. You need to move into a place of the Page of Cups. You need to find some beauty. Everything you're perceiving as a restriction, an imposition, and there may be a lot of that. This may be a really hard time for you, but you need to find some beauty in order that you can find some hope. You need to write down what your blessings are, what is good, what is right, what makes you happy, what brings you joy, what is good in your life, what things do you like, can you bring them in at this time? Page of Cups. Because you're focusing so much on the restriction, it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and more imposing. And I don't think it's going to go away just yet, but I feel you need to counteract that at this time. Your advice is the Two of Swords. You're only seeing the restriction, not seeing any of the other possibilities, anything else that is around you that is good, that is beautiful, and you need to, Pisces. Feels like a difficult situation. I don't feel it eases easily, but we need to shift you into this space that has some appreciation and gratitude, that more than anything else just recognizes what is good in your life at this time, Pisces. That has to be your first step. With the Five of Wands, that will then allow you to push through, break out, feel more free, feel more powerful, be able to see a chance. I hope that makes sense for you. That is all 12 signs. Please remember to like and share the video, everyone. I have time to answer questions for a few people. If any of you have a question for me, please pop it in the live chat and I will see which of you I am drawn to. Remember, if my work helps you, please think about donating to this channel. The PayPal details are just in the box below. If you'd like a full personal reading, the details to book that are also in the box below. If you'd like an astrology reading, the details for that are in the box below too. So I have time to pull cards for a couple of people if anybody has any questions. Sarah is asking, Zelda, may I have a message on finance for this week? High level, no pressure. Thank you, beautiful. Let me have a look at your finances, Sarah. It looks positive for you, Sarah. When you have first card that comes up is the Ace of Pentacles. So I feel that you are having some financial luck, maybe a financial windfall or something that just helps you. I feel like it creates a base that allows you to feel freer, lighter as a result. So you may have been looking over your shoulder quite a bit. You might be feeling quite weighed down. But I feel like you're going to feel a lot more free with the Ace of Pentacles. It gives you a newfound stability. With the Four of Pentacles, with stability comes responsibility. But I feel this is giving and creating you the base for some impressive movement and to be free and feel able to pursue what is in front of you with the Eight of Wands. Hugely positive for you. I hope that helps you. Danielle Bailey is asking, did I help a friend transition with Reiki? Let me have a look for you, Danielle. I feel you've helped them regain some balance, Danielle. I feel literally like their world was kind of upside down and topsy-turvy. But with the Five of Pentacles, you've helped put this back into a space where your friend can now build and grow from. I feel from there it's a learning process for your friend with the Page of Pentacles. It may be you may feel like a Page of Pentacles yourself. You kind of feel like you're still learning, still got lots to do. You need to stop doubting yourself. I feel that you're very, very accomplished with this area. You're very accomplished with this area. You're starting to master this discipline. Moving into a space of the King of Wands, in alignment, helping other people to align, being able to balance energies and being able to affect other people and the world energetically. hugely, hugely positive and powerful. I feel like you're absolutely on the right track. I feel you have the self-discipline for it. I just feel that you need to stop doubting yourself. Tara Mercury, should I relocate to Washington, D.C. with my sons? Let me have a look for you, Tara. It feels like you should. This is really, really interesting, actually. So you have the Page of Wands showing up, first of all. With the Page of Wands here, I feel the opportunity. I feel this sense of potentially saying goodbye to your old life. So I don't know if you've been living somewhere that's not quite so busy or something similar, but in any case, there is this door, you're moving towards it, you're saying goodbye to a few things. This includes things that I feel have been benefiting you. So you're giving up some stuff that you've relied on or that you've been sure of with where you are. Six of Swords, I feel, says go for it. I feel there's potential here. I feel that your perspective is going to shift through going for it. And with the Knight of Swords as well, I feel quick thinking, but I also feel that at least one of your sons is really going to sort of develop intellectually and in terms of self-confidence in Washington, D.C. And obviously this is about you as well as them, but it does feel really, really confident. The new start feels really, really healthy, really, really hopeful. I hope that makes sense for you. Love Goddess, may I have a card pull, please? Should I move forward with the Sagittarius? Let me have a look for you, Love Goddess. Take it slowly. Communicate more. Definitely communicate more. I feel there is communication, but you need to get to know each other that bit more. I don't feel you're in any danger or anything else. I do feel it's going to take work. I feel as well that you need to ensure this isn't getting in the way of the rest of your life. You have Mercury showing up as communication more than anything else. I feel as well as learning about each other as moving towards a goal, but you don't need to charge headlong and go really, really fast. With the Nine of Pentacles, your own stability, your own self-reliance is still vital. I feel that is important to you, but I feel that you don't have to sacrifice that in that sense at this time. King of Pentacles is the final card showing up. So I do feel stability. I do feel this has real potential. Whether you are an Earth, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or the Sagittarius is a Sun, Moon, or Rising, I'm not sure. But I feel that this is just about learning about each other over time, communicating more. It's going to build more stability over time. It doesn't need to go too fast, though. Doesn't need to go too fast. I hope that makes sense for you. Roisin, Gemini needs love advice as always. Okay, Roisin. I've had a card jump for you already. In fact, there's two cards that have jumped for you. Okay. I feel like you might have multiple options, Rasheen. Multiple options I'm feeling very, very strongly. And you're feeling pressed to make a decision. You're feeling pressed to make a decision quite quickly. 8 of Swords. I feel here is multiple options. There is an offer of love for sure. Knight of Cups is showing up, so that's right there for you. But I feel there may be more than one Knight of Cups in the picture here. With the Queen of Swords, you need to be working on your own self-worth around this. And the reason for that is that I feel that at least one of these options doesn't do you justice. Might be the quick or the exciting option, might be the one that you run into as a result, but it doesn't do you justice. You need to take a slightly longer view than that at this time. You need to value yourself. You need to kind of see beyond like the superficial. So take a bit of time over it, but enjoy yourself as well. It does feel really, really positive. Just don't rush, and bear in mind there seems to be more than one option around you at this time. Ladybug. Zelda, can I get a card for guidance, please? Okay, Ladybug. Ladybug. Okay, Ladybug. 2 3s showing up for you. 3 of Wands, 3 of Swords. Are you limiting your options? This is the sense that I'm getting, is you're limiting your options. You're limiting your options by limiting your view of yourself, your ability to have more, to create more. That's why you're limiting your options. That's why I feel like you might act quickly, act rashly. You might react to situations at the moment. You might feel that things are more restrictive than they are. They might feel more painful than they are. But the reason for that is that you're not allowing yourself to see further and to think bigger, to allow yourself to receive more. So there's some work to do on senses of lack, possibly on abundance issues, and possibly on patience as well, possibly on allowing things to come to you with the 3 of Wands, which is obviously a better place to be than the 3 of Swords. But I feel that there are these issues, your horizons, your perspectives are quite limited. You don't believe you can have more, can be bigger than this, but you can, and it will come to you. It will free you with the 2 of Wands and enable you to pursue far, far more. At the moment, I don't feel like you're allowing yourself to fully explore the possibilities that are out there. That is causing you a few difficulties. Have a little look within and find out what beliefs are sort of holding you back and restricting you in that sense, because it means that you're not going to be open to something more being there for you. I hope that makes sense for you. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for your questions as well. Please remember to like and share the video. Please remember to subscribe and to hit the notification button. That's the bell. If my work helps you, please feel free to leave me a tip or a donation. The details for that are in the box below. If you would like to go into something that's come up in more detail or any other area of life, you are very welcome to book me. My details for that are also in the box below. If you'd like a natal chart reading, or you'd like me to read on your current transits, I can also do that for you. The details, I think you know where to find them. If you would like to connect with me, collaborate with me, if you'd like to book me for an event, if you'd like to interview me, if there is anything else I can help with, please feel free to get in touch at any time. I'm going to wish you a wonderful, wonderful week, a wonderful, wonderful Sunday evening, Sunday night, or Monday morning, depending on where you are in the world. I will see you all again really, really soon. Take care, and remember, like, the collective focus is just to be and to shine from where you are at the moment. Don't overwhelm yourself by pushing yourself to have all the answers. That is where the fear sets in. That's also where you get trapped. Shine exactly where you are. Recognize your own worthiness. Recognize your creative potential. And recognize that as you do that, you're going to feel stable and supported. See you all again really, really soon.